Hello everyone, welcome to DocEngage. This is Jayashree. In this video, I'm going to train you about provider app where you can manage your complete staff details. It may be doctors, nurse, front desk person, managers, salespersons, etc. along with their roles and responsibilities. So let me show you how to add a provider. Let me go into this provider. Here I have add provider option. Before showing you how to add provider, I want you to do some basic configurations like adding specialties, skills, skill grades, and then adding role list. So specialties, like why you need to add specialties, like if you have multiple doctors with different specialties, you can add them here and tag these specialties to that particular provider. We already have few system defined specialities here. If you want to add any other new specialities into DocEngage, you can give the specialty name, code, and save. That specialty will show here. For example, we already have cardiologist, dentist, dermatologist. If you want to add any new specialty, you can add it and tag it to that particular provider. So let me move on to next one is skill grade. So here you can already write few skill grades and tag this to that particular providers to capture some more details about the provider. For example, there is one doctor who has done MD and he has 2 to 3 years of experience. Then you can write that skill grades here and tag this particular to that particular provider. And next one is role list. Why you need to add role list is like different organization or hospitals, clinics will have their own roles to the particular provider. For example, admin, doctors, nurse, or a receptionist, front desk persons, ward boys. So you can add complete roles here and tag this role to that particular provider and give the access based on their roles. So we already have few system defined roles here. If you want to add new role, just by clicking here on add new role, we can select the existing role name. So let us say I want to add a receptionist. So I'll select the name, I'll give the name receptionist and save. If I save, I'll get that role here in the list page. This receptionist role will come in the add provider form. So that I can tag this particular role to the provider. So now let me show you how to add a provider. This is the provider list page. I have already added few providers. That is why it is showing here with the name, specialty, roles, and complete data is showing here. And here I have add provider. Let me go to add provider form. I have name, like basic details to advanced details. I can give the access control roles if I want to capture in additional information, education, qualification, all the things I can add from provider pay form. So we do have two kinds of users, like one is login user and another one is non-login users. So let me show you how to add a login user first. Login users are nothing but a provider who can, like whom you want to give access to DocEngage, where they can log in and perform certain actions. For example, doctors can log in and do chatting with the patients. And so let me show you how to add. Here I have is allow login. If I enable this, then this particular provider is able to log into DocEngage. I will give one name, add one provider now, doctor. So let me say Lakshmi. I want to add this particular provider and I'll give username and email ID. Make sure that you are giving a correct email ID and this will be the login ID for that particular provider. Using this email ID, you will be able to log into DocEngage. So enter the mobile number and they capture all the basic important details. And next here, a primary care center. If you click on this, whatever the care center you have added into this DocEngage, that care centers list will show. And you can make this, you can select one care center, primary care center, where this particular provider is going to work. So let us say this provider is going to work in Columbia, Whitefield. I am selecting this as a primary care center. So this case provider is registered at Whitefield branch. So I can capture other details, and next role access control I can give. So is here is allowed to see patient or contact information. If I enable this feature, then this particular provider will be able to see the patient details, complete details. And next is allowed to see other providers calendar. If I enable this feature, then this particular provider will be able to see other providers calendar, like when there is few schedule appointments scheduled to other providers, like other doctors, then this provider can see that appointments as well. Is allowed to book appointment. If I give this particular provider will be allowed to book appointment for themselves. So next, patient access type. So here, if I give this access all patients, then whatever the patients registered in DocEngage, like other case center, complete patient data will be shown to this particular provider. Or if I select access care center patient, then only the care center which or where this provider is registered, only that care center's patient list can be seen by this provider. Or access assigned patients only. If we enable this feature, then this particular provider can only see the patient's name which are assigned to this particular doctor. For example, let us say there is one doctor, and 10 patients are registered and assigned to this particular doctor. So he can only see the 10 patients details. If I enable this, the complete patients which are registered in the that particular case center which he is registered in, that patient's list will show. Access all patient means complete patients who are registered with DocEngage in other case centers also, then he can access to that patients. And we can give the reporting manager or team notify. So we can select the person reporting manager here. Let us say this particular person is the reporting manager for this provider. Next, roles. Just now I have added a receptionist role and it is showing here. If you add more roles, that roles will show here in this field. So I want to give this particular provider as doctor. This person role is doctor. So I can select the role, and if you want to capture any additional information, capture additional information. And want to give any email signature, you can give the email signature. And last one is select case center to associate. So just now I gave in the starting of this form, I gave a primary case center, that is Columbia Asia Whitefield. So this one is automatically enabled. If you want to associate this particular provider to other care centers also, other branches also means, then I can associate. Let us say I want this provider to also work in Columbia Asia main branch. So I am associating him with Columbia Asia main branch as well. After this, I can add the photo. If I want to add the photo, I can just click on here. This will redirect to the files, and from where I can upload the photo of this particular provider and just save. If I save, that provider name will show here in the list page. So this is how we'll register a login user provider. Now we do have non-login user providers. Like non-login users are those providers who cannot log into system, but they are registered with the DocEngage. For example, there is one doctor for whom you don't want to give access to your data, but you want to maintain that doctor's data, like uh, you can book appointments for that doctor, or if you want to give a task to that activities for that doctor, like you can create, so that by the end of the day you will know the complete track of appointments taken care by this particular do- doctor. So for that same ad provider, I just have to do not enable or disable this feature. If I enable this feature, then it will become a login user. If I disable this feature, then that will become a non-login user, from where he cannot log in to the DocEngage. So this is how You register a non-login patient, and rest of the things are same. Only thing is that you should not enable that checkbox. So next one is configure team. Configure teams are just now I told you reporting manager or reporting team. So if I create new teams here, that will teams names will show there so that this team can do activities together. So all the things based on your hospital requirement, you can configure the teams. So if I click on add team, this add or edit team page will open, from where I can enter the team name and choose the care center. So I can give the name, choose the care center, and then who is the reporting manager for this particular team, and give the email ID if you want, like then mobile number. After giving all the fields, I can select the provider and add. So this particular provider is added. I also want Meena to work in this particular team. So I'm adding them. Now these are the names which I've selected for this particular team, and I just want to save. If I save, then that team name will show here. If you want to assign any task activities, then in the list page, these team names will be showing. If you want delete, edit, or verify email ID, you can do by clicking on this three dots called actions button. And I have completed how to add provider, how to configure teams, specialties I have told, skill grades I have told. Next one is role access control. Role access control is nothing but giving access to or denying access to a particular provider. So let us say I want to deny some access to receptionist. So these are the access which receptionist is having. So here he doesn't have access to this particular apps. I can change the app group to finance. So I can deny if I don't want to receptionist to have access to invoice, then I can just deny and save. Just I can just disable this and save. Then this particular provider who is working as a receptionist will not have access to invoice or payments. So this is how based on your requirement you can give the access to particular providers. And then role list I have already told. Next one is provider data uploader. Here if you like if you have a bulk provider details, for example you already have the provider's name, details, everything in Excel sheet, you don't want to sit and add providers manually to DocEngage, then you can directly upload that file into DocEngage as well. For that you need to download this CSV file. If you click on this, a sample file will download. Based on this sample file, you can modify the data and just upload into DocEngage by choosing the file from here. If I click on this, this will redirect you to the files. From there you can select the file and just upload. After uploading it, that complete provider's data will show here in the list page. I hope you all understood. Thank you all. See you in the next video.